I would stop by while my husband Santa is out. Oh, I've been baking for the past day, trying to make enough cookies for when Santa returns. Oh, he's always so hungry. And it's been quite a challenge this year, trying to get enough flour and yeast for my baking. Yes, even magical baking uses other ingredients, and Amazon Prime doesn't have next day delivery up here. Now let's see where Santa will be visiting you. Oh, it's Sid City. Oh, that's where Santa got me my new cookbook. Oh, marvelous. Where is Sid City? It looks like Sid City stretches across the whole world and off-world. Oh, good. Santa loves to travel everywhere, even to the ends of the galaxy. I guess he'll get to try out his new warp drive electric engine on his sleigh. The one that new elf built for him. Oh, that elf Elon can be a handful, but he does build nice new electrical toys. Let's take a peek, see who Santa put on his good list and his naughty list. Oh, this is wonderful news. Oh, looks like everyone here at Sid City is on the nice list. Congratulations, my lovely Santa. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. There are a few exceptions. Let's see. Okay. It says, intendant. She's been very naughty. Oh, that's what it says here. And Santa put a note on this one, too. Andy has been a good boy, but Garrick has to go on the naughty list. Note, remember that Nana stays on the nice list, too. I don't know what that all means, but it looks like only 2 members of Sid City will be getting coal this year. And oh, I'm sorry. Old habits die hard. I forget. Santa doesn't use coal anymore. All of us up here have gone carbon neutral. Don't think for a moment that us folk up here at the North Pole aren't aware of the crisis. Oh, we are, and we are doing our part. So for the 2 who did not make the good list, be ready to exchange some carbon credits. Hopefully next year you can join the nice list with the rest of the thoughtful people here at Sid City. Oh, Santa put another note on the list. He is bringing some extra joy to the world's greatest Aunt Mel because of her big heart and loving spirit. Oh, that's so important to Santa. Oh, look here. Santa has one more special thing he is dropping off this year. He is making a new honorary Santa. Oh, this is very rare. Let me see what he wrote. Because of his big heart and loving spirit, he is someone who has chosen to use the past year to reach out to others and truly listen to them. Someone who accepts everyone without a moment's hesitation. Oh, that's the real Santa spirit. So congratulations to the newest member of the Jolly Men in Red Club, Santa Sid. Sid, you asked the question to your city. What is love? Oh, my dear, I think you already know the answer to that. It's the giving of oneself, something you do without thought. But you keep on asking those questions. It makes others think and talk about it. Santa Sid, welcome. You are officially part of the Santa family. Please continue to grow your understanding and share yourself as you encourage others to share too. Hopefully that kind of love will continue outward from your Sid City to the rest of the world. Now, If anyone there sees my Santa, please remind him to close the gates after the reindeer are in. Oh, he's become so forgetful in the past 100 years. Have a happy season to you all at Sid City, and to you, Sid, and your family. Have a wonderful new year, and remember, stay on the nice list.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. And boy, are you guys in for a treat if you're watching this. There is one point, however, where I'd like to warn you in advance. You might want to at least muffle the pet's ears for a particular karaoke segment. I love this time of year mainly because it's a moment where we all get to think about people who aren't doing so well. And all over the world, as we are represented in this club, there are people who are struggling a bit, and I hope we can take a second to think about them. Other than that, enjoy yourselves the next 45 minutes, half an hour, however long this tape is, and sit back and relax and let us entertain you.
Happy holidays, everybody. I hope you're having a warm, safe Christmas at home. I wanted to share with you a recipe today that comes from my great-grandmother, who immigrated to the United States from Sweden in the early 1900s. She brought with her a recipe book, and that's been passed on through generations in my family. So now every Christmas since I was a little kid, me and my mom would take a week and bake hundreds and hundreds of cookies, all different kinds, to send to our family and our friends all around the country. So one recipe in particular that we love from my grandma's is a Swedish cinnamon cookie, kanelkakor. We make them every year in Mass. So you start with a very simple dough. This is a block of it that's been chilling overnight. It's butter, sugar, cinnamon, and eggs. That's it. Once it's had a chance to really solidify, you roll the outside in a cinnamon sugar blend. That's going to make it nice and crispy after it's baked. You get these adorable crispy little circles that are so nice dipped in hot tea on Christmas morning. This isn't the only kind of cookie we make. We make probably a dozen different kinds every year, and we're always looking for new recipes to try. So if you want to share a little bit of your traditions with me, I would love to exchange recipes. Please feel free to message me anytime about baking. Thank you. Stay safe.
I'm Jennifer. This is Rogine. We're going to do a very basic, very beginner's version of Green Sleeves with some written lyrics. Alas, my love, you do me wrong to cast me off discourteously, for I have loved thee for so long, delighting in your company. Green sleeves was all my joy, green sleeves was my delight. Green sleeves my heart abode and tore, but my wonderful green sleeves. My dear, though I bid thee adieu, keep warm my place when you sit to tea, for I am still thy good friend true. Please tell me whether you could love me. Green sleeves was all my joy, and green sleeves was my delight. Green sleeves my heart of gold and true, but my wonderful green sleeves.
Hi, my name's Lisa from Vancouver, Canada, or One Trek Fan as some people know me. I'd like to show you my holiday tradition of decorating my Christmas tree with Star Trek ornaments.
Here are all the ornaments in their boxes, waiting to be taken out to go on the tree. There are 68 ornaments. So here we go.
I hope you enjoyed that. That's my Star Trek tree. I managed to get 65 ornaments on. We have other ornaments, but those are the Star Trek ones. So Merry Christmas, live long and prosper.
I wish you a most honorable holiday. Kapla.
In my family, Christmas is about games. And these are just a few that we play. They usually are hours long, require strategy, and involve combat. And then we always cap the night with a big game of Uno, where familial bonds mean nothing. Now this year, it's just going to be my parents and I, so we'll probably just play a few rounds of Scrabble. Not that that's for the faint of heart. When you play Scrabble with my father and I, you better bring your A game, or is it your ABC game? But hopefully next year, we'll all be together for a proper family Christmas with games, because nothing says Christmas like playing board games and destroying your loved ones. Merry Christmas.
Hello, I'm Portia, and my family's holiday tradition was on Christmas Eve. After we had dinner, we would go and drive around and look at all the Christmas lights. And when we got home, we were allowed to open one present early.
Oh, night of COVID sadness, when all around the world we stayed at home in safety and under duvets curled. Our spirit
Oh my goodness.
Wonderful.
Wow.
There we go.
That's properly, yep.
That's proper.
Hi everyone, it's Eve England from Wales here, and I just want to show you one of the Christmas holiday traditions that we have in our house, where we make themed gingerbread. As you can see here, this year it was a Star Trek themed, where we decided to make the USS Discovery along with her crew. The recipe is actually from the Hummingbird Bakery recipe book, if anybody wants to give this a go. So it's entirely edible, tastes absolutely delicious, and it's all stuck together using royal icing, which I decorated with some edible glitter and other edible goodies. Managed to make these plastic stands, so I was really pleased with that, because it really does make it look like it's flying. And of course the Discovery wouldn't really be a ship without her crew, and so I made teeny tiny super cute little crew members from the most recent season, although I did add L'Oreal after a special request. So here they all are, the whole crew of the Discovery. And so this is something that I really do try to do most years, and in the past I have done a Nakatomi Plaza gingerbread, a Doctor Who TARDIS, a Star Wars 8080, and also a Game of Thrones The Wall. So I'll put some extra pictures alongside so you can see those. But this is such a super fun thing to do, and it just keeps you occupied for a weekend or so. I'm particularly pleased with this one, and I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, and let's all hope for a less eventful 2021.
I should probably just introduce this song a little bit, because maybe not many people know it, but it's one from Ralph Vaughan Williams that based on an old English tradition which is called wassailing, where people used to go around like all the different houses, and they would produce a bowl and say wassail, which is like old English greeting. And if the master brought them out like food and goodies and little bits of alcohol, basically, they would eat, drink, be merry, and bless him on Christmas. And then if he didn't, they would curse him. So yeah, it's supposed to be for choir, so forgive me. I can't do multiple parts at once. Here goes. Wassail, wassail all over the town. Our nose it is red and our hair it is brown. Our bowl it is green as the green maple tree. In the wassail bowl we'll drink unto thee. Give the health to the ox and to his right eye. May God send the master a good Christmas tide. Oh, good Christmas pie, as there I did see, in the wassail bowl we'll drink unto thee. Come out, love, come bring us a bowl of the best, and I pray that your soul in heaven may rest. But if you do bring us a bowl of small, may the dove take back the bowl and all. And here's to the maid in the lily white smock, who tripped to the door and slipped back the lock. Who tripped to the door and pulled back the pin. Couldn't let these jolly wassailers in. Who tripped to the door. Couldn't let these jolly wassailers in. Wassail, wassail, wassail all over the town. Wassail, wassail.
Merry Christmas.
Hey everybody, so we're going to share two of our Christmas traditions. Our first is that whenever we decorate the Christmas tree, we talk about each ornament as we're putting it on because all of our ornaments have special meaning. So Kyrie, can you tell them where this ornament came from?
Uncle Jojo, and he made it when he was a kid.
Yep, Uncle Jojo made this when he was a kid. How about this ornament? Where did this one come from?
Rosie.
Yep, this used to be Grandma Rosie's. And what about this one?
And Grandma Nancy.
Grandma Nancy made this one. Very good. And our second tradition is that almost every night in December we watch a Christmas movie leading up to Christmas. And Kyrie, what is your favorite? What's this one?
The Home Alone one.
Yep, you like the Home Alone one. So those are our two Christmas traditions. So we hope you all have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas!
Hi, I'm Mu Yuan.
Hi, I'm Poppy.
I'm from the west coast of the Atlantic Ocean.
From the west coast of the Pacific Ocean.
We present you
a decommercialized Chinese December. Hey, Mu Yuan, I know you're from North China. What's the most important holiday in December in your hometown?
I guess it must be the winter solstice. We don't spend much money on that holiday. Usually my family would sit together and watch TV shows while making dumplings together, and then we'll eat the dumplings. What about South China?
Well, the same here. The homemade foods not expend much. It's an important family reunion day next to the Spring Festival, like Thanksgiving in America. And in South, we eat a lot of glutinous rice on this day, including rice cooked with sausage and smoked ham, yummy, yummy, and the rice balls with sweet fillings. Well, you can never forget about Christmas in December. So, Mu Yuan, how much do you usually spend on Christmas gifts?
It's not too much, just a few cents, I guess. So on Christmas Eve, we'll give each other apples, which is strange. But it's because apples, they translate it into 苹果 in Chinese, and Christmas Eve is translated into 平安夜 in Chinese. So they both have the 平 word in it, and then 平 also means safe and peace in Chinese. So giving each other apples on Christmas Eve basically means hoping you having a safe and peace New Year. How about you, Poppy?
That's great. That won't cost much. But talking about presents, we fangirls seem to have better ideas of spending less money and have more fun. One of the most popular Chinese fanfiction websites is mt/mod.me. They hold a present season every December. You can make a wish for a fanfic or fan art based on which TV or movie and which couple you ship. I remember I once wished for a Mirror Bashir and Prime Bashir fan art, and I got a wonderful present like this. So Mirror Bashir is sending his pet as a gift to Prime Bashir.
Nice. Well, so I think truly fangirls are the power against a commercialized holiday season.
Exactly.
Great. Bye.
Bye.
Viewer discretion is advised.
It's a simple Friday. A few weeks into lockdown. Sit locked in and the rest of us did too. And we knocked it out of the town. Well, all over various towns. Singing joy to the world. All over Western town. Joy to the sisters at the city. Joy
welcome. Been a heck of a year.
Merry Christmas. Bye, guys.
Everybody, Merry Christmas. Talking about Christmas traditions. Well, in Germany, every family has some kind of tradition about how to decorate the Christmas tree. Well, this is not really a tree, I have to admit it. The tradition I want to talk about is about an old recipe. This is a cookbook of my grandmother, the mother of my mother. And it was printed in the town where she lived as a small child in the year 1927. So, the book is nearly 100 years old. And the receipts are still very delicious. Also, many of them involve a lot of handwork. There's one recipe I will never give up making on Christmas. And I'm doing them since my mother's hand are not strong enough for the dough any longer. So, this is a hazelnut recipe. Delicious hazelnut cookies. In the result, they look like these. Ah, yummy, yummy. I can't imagine a Christmas without those cookies. So, enjoy your festival days. Bye.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm going to make for you a very rustic Christmas stocking to hang by your fireplace channel with care.
Hi, I'm Molly, and this is my mom, and
Hello.
One of our Christmas activities is our clue game. So this Christmas tradition started when I was little, when my brother used to write clues on little pieces of paper and hide them around the house, and I would have to go solving riddles that he would write. Now, when he did it, he used lines from famous authors' books or from poetry. When I adopted and started doing this for Molly, which is something that we do every year on Christmas Eve, I take lines from Christmas songs, and I will hide them at various places around the house, and Molly's going to tell you a little bit about how that game works. All right, so the game starts with a special ornament, a little box that we keep the first clue in, and so the first step is to find where on the tree that box has been hidden. So it's right here, and you would open this and find the first clue inside, and if I unfold this here and read it aloud, it's a lyric to a song. So on the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings. And so we find something in the house that has to do with that, and I think I know what it is. So here's our advent calendar, and it looks like on the 5th day there's a clue. So that will be the next one, and I'll open that up. And the next clue, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why, Santa Claus is coming to town. So I'm looking for a Santa Claus, and I think I see one over here. And there'd be another clue under here. So that would continue for about a dozen clues, and eventually at the end is a gift. And it can be any kind of gift, large, small, funny, whatever you have it. But that's one of the activities you do on Christmas Eve, and it's something we've always done and will always do.
Dirty pile of snow in the parking lot. I want to jump in you, but I think I better not. You're full of leaves and twigs and cigarette butts. I'd end up covered in scrapes and cuts. Whoa, dirty pile of snow. Dirty pile of snow, all black and white. Laying back and you just wouldn't be right. Little shards of ice mixed in with dirt. I'd be in for a world of hurt. Whoa, dirty pile of snow. Dirty pile of snow sitting in the yard. Cleared you from the sidewalk and now you're kinda hard. Melted in, frozen solid as cement. Driving head first to choice, I lament. Whoa, dirty pile of snow. Dirty pile of snow still around in May. You better watch out, it's gonna rain today. Return to the ground and we'll stay so long till you come back next year and we sing this song. Whoa, dirty pile of snow. Whoa, dirty pile of snow.
Hi, this is Christine and
Bobby.
And we're here to tell you about our Christmas tradition. Sid asked a very pertinent question on one of the recent meetings, which was, what do we Americans do so close to Thanksgiving when it's time for more turkey at Christmas? Do we have turkey? Do we not have turkey? Do we have ham? Some people have ham. We don't have ham because I don't like ham. And we definitely don't have turkey because we, personally, the two of us, are in fact all turkeyed out by the time Christmas rolls around. So our solution is lasagna.
Okay. So our lasagna story goes back approximately 16 years ago to a situation where we were in Portland, Oregon, and we tried various restaurants to get a lasagna that was to our liking, and we could not find one. So we decided to make it ourselves together. A lasagna recipe, of course, is noodles, ricotta cheese, other cheeses, meat or not. But it's all in the percentages. So we adjusted the percentages of ricotta cheese to our liking.
Usually we go to my aunt and uncle's house for Christmas, but obviously this year that's not happening. So whereas they would feed us, a million things, have they ever fed us lasagna or no?
They have fed us in one meal everything.
Everything. Well, the lasagna will make a grand return this year, and we have two images that will represent the lasagna after it's come out of the oven. And both of us ready to eat the lasagna. We obviously did not make it, but we can pretend.
And with that, Christine, we say good night.
Good night.
Happy holidays, Sid City Social Club. So for my holiday tradition, I wanted to show you a part of San Francisco that's very close to my heart during the holidays. It's the Mission District. It's especially become more important to me this year because this was a neighborhood that that my grandfather grew up in, and he loved taking me and my sister here, and he'd show me all the spots he'd visit as a child. Just like, this place is super important to me and my family, and he died last year, so I want to preserve his memory by just visiting here and remembering all the lessons he taught me. And this here is La Victoria Panaderia, Mexican bakery, owned by a friend of our family's. They got some really good pan dulce, lots of tasty stuff. A bit further down is the St. Francis Creamery that has like old-fashioned American diner classics. and there's lots of loud music. It's a very vibrant little part of the city. Makes me feel proud to be Mexican American. I hope that you spend your holidays in somewhere that brings you lots of pride about your identity. And it, just wherever it is, may your heart be happy. I love you all. Happy holidays.
Greetings from New York State. My favorite holiday tradition is Morris dancing on Boxing Day at the pub. Good beer, good beat, good friends. With bells on our shins and hankies in hands, we celebrate by dancing and singing to exhaustion. Yet the room fills up with an energy so palpable, I feel as if I can fill my pockets with it and save it for the new year. On Boxing Day, we dance only for ourselves, for the simple joy of it, knowing that other Morris teams are doing the same around the world. This year, I look forward to a virtual Boxing Day, with the same great people, same weird shenanigans, and I am so grateful to be part of such an amazing community. Happy holidays! Woo!
When you've grown up, my dears, and are as old as I, you'll often ponder on the years that roll so swiftly by, my dears, that roll so swiftly by, and of the many lands you will have journeyed through, you'll oft recall the best of all, the land your childhood knew, your childhood knew. Toyland, Toyland, little girl and boyland, while you dwell within it, you are ever happy then. Childhood's joyland, mystic merry toyland, once you leave its borders, you can never return again.
Hello everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'd like to share with you my recipe for simple duck during the holidays, or any time, especially for those of us who find turkey and chicken a bit boring and overdone. First, select a prime breast of duck from your local butcher or local farm supplier. Getting a high-quality piece of duck is essential. Then season the duck breast with the marinade or seasoning of your choice. I prefer simple. I find a lot of sauces overpower the natural delicious taste of the game meat, so I favor a seasoning of 3 peppercorn, cracked pepper, and Icelandic lava salt. If you've not tried it, I suggest you get some. Let that sit for about 30 to 60 minutes to remove excess water and get ready to cook. Now, set your oven to 400 Fahrenheit or 200 Celsius. Add a bit of butter to a cold pan on the stove and bring the stove heat up to low, just enough to melt the butter. Then coat both sides of the duck breast, leaving it fat side down. Gradually raise the temperature of the pan from low to high, allowing the duck fat to begin to caramelize and sear the fat side of the duck breast. Once the heat is at maximum, the fat side should be thoroughly seared. Flip the breast over to the meat side. Once the meat side is seared, place the duck breast in an oven-safe pan and bake the duck for between 8 and 12 minutes, depending on the size of the duck breast. You don't want to overcook, so if it's a smaller piece, remove at about 8 minutes. Larger piece, 10 to 12 minutes. The result is a perfectly succulent alternative to turkey or chicken or ham. Enjoy, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays from my family to yours.
Growing up, my dad's side of the family all lived in the area, so every year we would celebrate with our whole extended family.
We would go to a Christmas Eve service at church, and then I'll go back to my grandparents' house for Chinese food for dinner, which confuses most people, but the idea was we were having a big Christmas Day dinner the next day, and nobody really wanted to make 2 big meals back to back. When we were younger, we used to spend the night at my grandparents' house on these pull-out couches from the 1970s in the basement, and the next morning, we'd have a big breakfast and then move to the presents. But every year before we could open our presents, we had to take the obligatory cousins picture in front of the Christmas tree, which we did every year, even the year my brother had the flu, and they still make us do every year, even though we're in our 30s now and dwarf the tree. We went from the original 7 cousins to adding 4 spouses, now 5 great-grandchildren. My grandfather passed away, but my grandma's still going strong at 94. And with marriages and great-grandchildren, we're now up to 23 people and counting. This year is going to be different, but hopefully we can recreate the obligatory cousins picture on Zoom so we don't break tradition.
Christmas is here, dong, good cheer, ding, dong, ding, dong, ding, dong. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. All over, hill and dale, telling their tale. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Christmas is here, dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. All over, hill and dale, telling their tale. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong.
Hi, everybody. Mel from Kansas and SidCity.net here. When we were putting together the plan for the Sid City Social Club holiday special, we were really excited to hear about everybody's holiday traditions from around the world and celebrating different holidays, and you guys have not disappointed. I was also really excited to share one of my favorite holiday traditions, which is also our newest holiday tradition, and that is the family Christmas parade. We started doing this 3 years ago. My oldest niece, Genevieve, who some of you have met, she had had the idea for a while, but just didn't have the resources to execute it. So when she moved in with me to go to college, she asked if we could try to make it happen. And I was like, yeah, why not? That sounds fun. So we did, and it was a huge success. We got a bunch of just really cheap decorations, stuff we pulled out of the garage, a few things from Dollar Tree, some stuff from Goodwill, and took it out to her family's house. Picked up a couple of the cousins who live here in town and went out to her family's house in this little town about 20 miles east of where we live, of our college town, and got some trailers out and gave the kids all of the supplies and said, have at it. So they put together their very own parade floats, and then we drove around town and people came out. We were singing, and a couple of the kids had their musical instruments and they were playing Christmas music. And people would come out of the porches like, what in the world? So we're doing our parade waves and just went around this little town. It takes, even walking, it takes like 10 minutes. It was a huge hit. People loved it. And the kids loved it. The adults loved it. So we've done it every year since. And I'm sharing some photos right now from this year's Christmas parade, which happened in the middle of December on the coldest night of the season so far, because we really know how to pick them. But the kids had a blast putting these together. You'll notice that one of these floats says Happy Life Day. And that is my 3 eldest nephews who are obsessed with Star Wars and also think they're really funny. So they decided to commandeer the smaller of the 2 trailers and turn it into their very own speeder decorated for Life Day. And they just got a huge kick out of themselves doing that, and it was pretty cute. And then on the larger float, we have the rest of the kids with their various vignettes. We had an Elf on the Shelf, we had a Nativity, we had a Mrs. Claus, we just had a little cozy room. It was just a Christmas tree, a couple of different Christmas trees, one that I made with Judah, the 6-year-old. out of a box and some crepe paper. He really got a kick out of that. Lots of different signs that they got to make, and they had so much fun doing it, and they get to be so creative, and it gets the whole family involved. It's one of my absolute favorite holiday traditions, and I'm glad that I get to share it with all of you. Happy holidays, everybody.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy right now, hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. And then, oh the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. Feast, feast, feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked, what a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No. The Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. when he came to the first little house on the square. "This is stop number 1, the old Grinch, he claused hissed. And he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who's stockings all hung in a row. "These stockings," he grinned, "are the first things to go." Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums, and he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. "And now," grinned the Grinch, "I will stuff up the tree." And the Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove, when he heard a small sound, like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire, and the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1/4 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. "Pooh, pooh to the Who's," he was grinchingly humming. "They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo." "That's a noise," grinned the Grinch, "that I simply must hear." So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other it came, just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Happy holidays.